Hi guys, it's Nick here with NicksWhipShop, and in today's video I will be showing you how to create a knot foundation and tie the knot for a whip, specifically bull whips. Here it is. This is a 4x5 Turks head knot. So I'm going to go over some of the things you'll be needing for this video. Starting off, we're going to be needing some small nails. You can see. These are just some little nails, tack nails for pounding and trim or whatnot. And you'll need about, let's say 2, 4, 6. You'll be good with about 6 of them. Here's an important one you'll need. This is a lacing needle, or perma-lock needle as some people call it, and very vital with a threaded end. You'll need that, absolutely. Electrical tape. You're going to need this is about some 10-ounce cowhide, and it needs to be very thick and very strong. You can see the thickness, that's about 10 ounces about. Okay guys, started off by putting my whip in a clamp, as you can see here. Now I'm going to take my leather and I'm going to cut a strip that's about, it's going to be about a little over an inch wide. I'll make it about 4 inches long. So to measure it up and to get the exact measurements we need, we're going to take our strip of leather and just kind of mold it around here. And once we see the circumference, just so that the ends will touch, so you can see the ends are touching right there. Zoom in a little bit, you can see what I'm talking about. Gone around, held this in place, and wrapped it around. And right here, I'm going to mark it with my fingernail, and that's where we're going to cut the leather. Scissors here. Okay. Oh, let's see how it fits. I think that's about perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this up just a little bit, just so it's nice and even. There we go. And this is going to be our knot foundation for our whip. Let me zoom in for you guys for the next step. Next we're going to take our electrical tape here. Just going to cut off a piece. Sometimes the electrical tape doesn't like to stick to the leather, but it's no big deal because the leather is just to temporarily hold the leather into place. So as you can see, what I've done here is I've taped it on one side and I'm wrapping it around to where the two ends meet. And then we're going to use more electrical tape to secure it. Just like this. Make sure everything's even. I'm going around the whole piece. Nice and tight. Go very tight. As tight as you can without breaking the electrical tape. Okay. And this is going to be our foundation. This gives the knot some thickness to it, because if you just tie parachute cord onto nothing, it's going to slip right off and there's hardly going to be any elevation to it at all. I'll take the scissors and cut this. Okay. The next step, I'm going to get a saw out. Just a little hand saw that I have. We're going to start right here. We're going to actually cut through all of our layers, okay? I'm going to move the lens back so we don't get a bunch of steel filings on it. I'll just zoom in. So, flush with the end of the knot foundation, not this way because you'll have some of the ends sticking out. So we're going to put the saw right here and cut away. If you need to, you might want to move this. It'll be less flexing of the once you get it sawed through, just going to take a scissors and just cut through the remaining strands of parachute cord. Make sure that's nice and even. I'm going to take a lighter now and singe the frayed parts here. And don't use your fingers to mold it in, because you'll burn yourself. Okay, now next step, we're going to take more electrical tape and just kind of mold over that with the tape to seal it in, if you know what I mean. I'm going to take these little 1-inch strips, put it over, and do one crossways. And then I'm just going to give it a couple more wraps. Okay? Like this. Alright. Good. Okay guys, the next step is to take our little nails that we have here, and we're going to drive the nails into the knot foundation, through the foundation, and into the pleated bellies of the whip. So we're going to take that. Here's one of our nails. I'm just going to take my pliers like this and plunge our nail into the knot foundation. And I want to make sure that goes in all the way as far as we can get it until the steel rod underneath stops us, okay? So if you got a hammer or whatever you got, just pound that in. And once that you feel that you are hitting that rod, the steel rod, underneath, we're going to take our snippers and we're going to actually cut it to where the nail is flush with the, or as flush as we can get it with the foundation itself. Cover your eyes when you do this. Some nails like to violently separate and get yourself in the eye sometimes, which really is a pain. I'm going to take a file here and I'm going to file this down, okay? Just so it's flush. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing that I just did with another nail. And I'm going to drive the nail through. The same thing I just did. Just like this. Till it gets to the steel rod underneath, which is our handle. Whatever works best, you can push it, you can hammer on it, just so you're driving it through. Same thing I just did. I'm going to snip it. Saw that nail fly off like that. And that's flush. Okay? So I'm going to rotate it. Here's 1/3. I'm going to rotate it a third around, do it again, rotate it a third around, and do that again. So do the same thing I just did here, 3 times spaced evenly, and that'll hold your foundation. So go ahead and do that. Okay, now that you've pounded all of your nails in, we have 2 nails, rotate a third, 2 more nails, rotate another third, and we have 2 more nails. And this is going to hold your foundation from sliding off. Okay, for the next step, before we tie the knot, this is the way I like to do it. I like to dip the heel of the whip, the foundation, in this stuff. This is called Plasti Dip. You may have seen whips that I've made in the past on the heel of the whip. I have dipped in this stuff. This is called Plasti Dip, and it makes a nice rubber handle. I used to do that when I just made whips of my own, when I didn't know how to make Turk's head knots. I would just dip it in that stuff. But I found that coating the foundation in this stuff makes for a very nice foundation for the when you go to tie the knot, it's very easy. It stays in place as you're tying it, and it saves a lot of time. So I'm just going to mix this up. So you got to do this every time just to get it nice and primed and mixed. Okay. I'm just going to dip it in here. Okay. Evenly dip it in the plasti dip. Pull it out slowly. And there is our coating. Beautiful. Get rid of that tip. Hang it up, let it dry for overnight. And I'll be back. Okay guys, it's time to tie the knot. I've cut off about a 6-foot length of parachute cord. And to start off our knot, I've already laced it in the needle too, it's nice and secure. To start off our knot, I'm going to take it and lay it here, hold it by the thumb, it's at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to go like this, around the front again, covering up that place that we were holding with our thumb. Okay. I'm going to go around the back, overlapping here, going around the front, and now we're going to go under this one, okay? So it came around, going to go under here. Okay, just like this. Now we're going to go turn our handle. We're going to go, we just went under here, over, around the back. I'm sitting on the whip. There we go. Around the back. I'm going to go under here. This. Pull it nice and tight. Okay. So now we're going around here. And now we're at the front again. So now I'm going to go over here and under here. Just like this. Tight. Now around here, well, under here, we're going to go over here, and now going to go over, oops, over, under here. Over, under, over, under, like this. tight. Over this. Over and under. Just like that. And that's one pass. Now what we're going to do is we're going to even things out. Just with our fingers and make sure everything's spaced evenly. Even as we can get it. Check the top as well. Try to get it as even as you can. Spaced evenly. Just like this. And that is the first pass of the knot. Get a little bit of fraying, just give it a quick singe. And that's it. That's how you tie the knot. The rest of it is just following the path that you already took. And you already have a guide for that because of your previous lacing. We're going to follow this guy. We're going to follow right where we started. Just going to go side by side with it. You'll see what I mean in a second. See that? See how this one goes over and under? I'm just going to do exactly what it does. I'm going to go over and under. Just mimic what it does. See that? Side by side. Okay. Under. It goes over here, so we're going to go under just like it does. Over and under. Following what it does. Alright. A place where it goes over, under, just following. Over the two, and under. Keep on going. Over and under. Over and under. Over and under the two. And the plastic dip that we dipped it in, it really holds the strands in place so they don't slip off the side. I found that this rubber material. The only downside is sometimes it can make it kind of hard to push the needle through. It's really grippy on the brass. Okay. So you can see the knot starting to fill in nicely. Over and under the two. Over the top here on the two. Following the old knot. The old first path we took. Over and under. Over the two, under this guy. Now sometimes this will happen, it's okay. You're just going to want to see that it's even up to here. It's not crossed over, and you're just going to pull it through like that, and it'll even itself out. Over the two. Under the two. like that. And there we're done with our second pass through. And I'm just going to repeat that one step where I was just evening things out. Like this. And if you're doing a single colored knot, what you're going to do is you're going to repeat that, and you're going to go along with your 2 strands and do it again, and that'll be the final step, and your knot will be done. But since I am actually doing a multicolored knot, at this point I'm going to switch over to red. So just gonna switch on to the red. Okay, now I've fused on my red to the green. I mean, it doesn't matter, we're just going to complete the knot no matter what color you were using. So I fused it in, and we're just going to keep on going, following our final pass here. Sneak it through, and now we're just following the strands again. Side by side. As the knot starts to get filled in, sometimes it becomes difficult to find a space to start your needle. But just slowly just press it in. You might have to really stab it sometimes, but like for example here, this is pretty tight space here. So you're just gonna just wiggle it around, find that space, and you'll see the needle come out. It'll get a little tight sometimes, but just gotta pull it through. Here's an example of a twist that we want to get rid of. Just gonna hold it the direction I want it and pull all those little twists through until it's even. Just like that. We're still going side by side, following the path of our last 2 strands. That's why I'm not giving much instruction. I'm just following the path of the old. Follow it through. It's really filling in now. It's starting to look good. messed it up. Sorry about that. I needed to go just through here, actually. Go. Getting down to the last few. You can see that pattern. It's kind of neat. It's like a little originating from the tip, and it's like a little lightning sort of thing. Alright, take a quick pause.
Roll.
Alright, we just had to switch some batteries. So just continuing. Through, we're almost done. Now this is the last pass. I'm going to take it and go behind these two knots here. This. And this is the last one. I'm going to pull that nice and tight. And there is our knot. Now we're going to cut off the excess. We're going to do 2 pulls on our last one. There we go. One there. And pull this little guy here. And we're going to cut the excess off. Like so. And then I'm going to singe that with the lighter so it doesn't fray anymore. And press it into the foundation. Do the same for this. Cut. I'm going to singe it. Press it into the foundation. And the last step is to take our knot, and I'm going to just take a hammer. I try to do this with a rubber hammer, but I'm just going to even out the spaces in the knot. Flatten things up. And there is your handle, your Turks head knot, your 4x5 Turks head knot for the heel. Alright. That's it.